My Big Brother. Premchand was a great Indian writer. His real name was Dhanpat Rai Srivastav. Premchand was his pen name. He was born in a village near Banaras, Varanasi, in 1880. He died at the age of 56. Although his family wasn't wealthy, Premchand received a good education in Persian and Urdu. Initially, he wrote in Urdu, but switched to Hindi later. He was deeply influenced by Dickens, Tolstoy, and Gandhi, among others. His stories always had a social message and tried to place a mirror before society. Some of his classics like Shatranj Ke Khiladi and Sadgati have been made into films. My Big Brother is a little different from Premchand's usual stories. It is a delightful story of two brothers and describes the strictness displayed by the big brother in all his dealings with his younger sibling. What he says seems to be true for all younger children in families. Read on to discover more about this bittersweet relationship between the two brothers. My big brother was 5 years older than me, but only 3 grades ahead. He'd begun his studies at the same age I had, but he didn't like the idea of moving quickly in an important matter like education. So he took 2 years to do 1 year's work. Sometimes he even took 3. I was the younger, he the elder. I was 9, he was 14. Because he was older, he had every right to supervise and instruct me, and I was expected to always obey him. He was very serious about his studies. He was always sitting with a book open. Sometimes, perhaps, to rest his brain, he would draw pictures of birds, dogs and cats in the margin of his notebook. He would copy a couplet out several times in beautiful letters or create new words which made no sense. He was in the 9th grade, I was in the 6th. To understand his creations was beyond my powers. I wasn't very interested in studies. As soon as I got the chance, I'd leave the hostel and go to the field and play marbles or fly paper kites, or sometimes just meet a friend. What could be more fun? But as soon as I came back and saw my brother's scowling face, I was terrified. The first question would be,
"Where were you?" If you don't study English, you'll be studying your whole life. Studying English is no laughing matter. Otherwise, everybody would be experts in English. You've got to use all your energy and then maybe you'll master the subject. And even then, you may just learn a little. Even great scholars can't write proper English, to say nothing of being able to speak it. How will you pass when you waste your time in playing? If it takes me 2 or even 3 years, you'll spend your whole life studying in 1 grade. It would be better if you just went home and saved father's hard-earned money.
I'd start crying. What could I say? I was at fault. But who could take a scolding like that? My brother was an expert in the art of giving advice. He would say such harsh words and crush me with such good advice that I would feel sad and my courage would disappear. I often thought,
why don't I run away from school and go back home? Why should I spoil my life trying to do something that is difficult for me?
I was willing to remain a fool. Within 1 or 2 hours, the sadness would go away, and I'd promised to study really hard. I'd draw up a routine. There was no place for play in it. Get up at dawn, wash hands and, at 6, eat a snack, sit down and study. From 6 to 8 English, 8 to 9 arithmetic, 9 to 9:30 history, and eat something and go off to school. A half hour's rest at 3:30 when I got back from school. Geography from 4 to 5, grammar from 5 to 6, then a half hour's walk in front of the hostel. 6:30 to 7 English composition, then dinner. Translation from 8 to 9, Hindi from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11 different topics, then to bed. The annual exams came. My brother failed. I passed and was first in class. There was now only 2 classes difference between him and me. I wanted to tease him about this, but he was so sad and depressed that I really felt sorry for him. However, I was proud for myself. My brother's control over me was over. I began to take part freely in games. When he would lecture me, I'd say,
With all your studying, what kind of marks did you get?
He'd reply,
You have become very proud. But my brother, even great men have to suffer for being proud. You must have read what happened to Ravan. Didn't you learn anything from his story? It is not enough to pass an exam. The real thing is to develop your mind. Understand the message behind what you read. Ravan was the master of the earth. All the kings of the earth respected him. But what happened to him in the end? Pride completely destroyed him. When a man becomes proud, he loses both this world and the next. You must have read about what happened to Satan too. He was so proud that he thought no one was more sincere to God than himself. Finally, he was sent out of heaven to hell. You've just been promoted 1 grade and you are so proud. Understand this. You did not pass because of your own efforts. You just got lucky. Don't think that because I failed, I'm stupid and you're smart. When you reach my class, you'll sweat when you have to understand algebra and geometry and study English history. It's not easy to memorize the names of all the kings. There were so many Henrys. Do you think it's easy to remember all the things that happened in each Henry's time? There were dozens of James, dozens of Williams, and scores of Charleses. You get dizzy with them. Your head will be spinning around. And as for geometry, if you write ABC instead of ABC, your whole answer is wrong. Does it make any difference if you eat lentils, boiled rice and bread, or boiled rice, lentils and bread? But the examiners only see what's written in their books. They want us to learn everything by heart. They say, write an essay on punctuality, no less than 4 pages long. Who doesn't know that punctuality is a very good thing? Do I need 4 pages for what I can describe in 1 sentence?
It was almost time for school, otherwise, I don't know when this lecture would have ended. If I got a scolding like this after I passed, maybe if I failed, I would have to pay with my life. But even a scolding like this didn't change things a bit. I never missed a chance to play. I also studied, but much less, just enough to complete the day's work and not be scolded in class. When it was the yearly exams again, and it so happened that once again I passed and my brother failed. I hadn't done much work, but somehow or other, I passed in the first division. I was quite surprised. My brother had just about killed himself with work, memorizing every word in the course, studying till 10 at night, and starting again at 4 in the morning until we went to school. But the poor fellow failed again, and I felt sorry for him. When he heard the results, he broke down and cried, and so did I. I no longer felt any pleasure in passing. There was only one grade left between my brother and me. The terrible thought crossed my mind that if he failed just one more and I passed, I would be at the same level as him. Then, what grounds would he have for lecturing me? But I immediately got this ugly thought out of my head. After all, he scolded only to help me. Now my brother became much gentler towards me. Several times, when he found reason to scold me, he did it without losing his temper. My independence grew. I started imagining that I'd pass next time whether I studied or not. I found a new pleasure in flying kites. Still, I was careful and hid my kite flying from my brother. I started preparing for the kite flying contest. One day, far from the hostel, I was running down the road trying to catch a kite. My eyes were on the heavens and that high-flying traveler in the skies. A whole army of boys was racing to welcome it with long, thick bamboo rods. No one was aware of who was in front of or behind him. Suddenly, I collided with my brother, who was probably coming back from the market. He grabbed my hand and said angrily,
Aren't you ashamed of running after a kite? Have you forgotten that you're in grade 8 now? One behind me? A man's got to think about his position. I'm sorry to see you have so little sense. You're smart, but what use is it if it destroys your self-respect? You must have thought, I'm just one grade behind my brother, so now he doesn't have any right to say anything to me. But you're mistaken. No doubt that next year you'll be in the same class as me, and maybe a year later you'll even get ahead of me. But I'm 5 years older than you, and I will always be. The experience I have of life and the world you can never catch up with, even if you get an MA and a D.Lit and even a PhD. Understanding doesn't come from reading books. Our mother never went to school, and Dad probably never went beyond the 5th grade. Maybe they don't know what kind of government there is in America. But you and I don't even know how to make our pocket money last through the month. Just look at our headmaster. Doesn't he have an MA degree? He gets 1,000 rupees. But who runs his house? His old mother. There his degree are useless. He used to manage the house himself, but he couldn't make both ends meet. He used to manage the house himself, but he couldn't make both ends meet. But since his mother has taken over, it's as though Lakshmi has come into his house. So brother, don't be so proud of having almost caught up with me and being independent now. I'll see you don't go off the track and start doing wrong things. I can use this too, my belt, I mean. I know that you don't like hearing all this, but I will keep advising you.
I was deeply ashamed. I had truly come to know of how small and ordinary I was, and a new respect for my brother was born in my heart. With tears in my eyes, I said,
No, what you say is completely true, and you have the right to say it.
My brother embraced me and said,
I don't want to stop you from flying kites, but what can I do? If I go off the track myself, then how can I take care of you? And taking care of my younger brother is my responsibility.
Just then, by chance a kite that had cut loose passed over us with its string dangling down. A crowd of boys were chasing after it. My brother, being very tall, leaped up and caught hold of the string. He then did something that left me shocked, overjoyed and excited. He ran at top speed towards the hostel. I ran closely behind him.